From Fox 35, this is Good Day Orlando.
And right now on Good Day Orlando, people taking to the streets in protest of the George Zimmerman verdict. So what's the next now for the former Neighborhood Watch captain?
It's not over until justice is served.
Thousands calling for justice against George Zimmerman, who they are now calling on to take action.
And the pain at the pump, is it about to get worse? How much you can expect now to pay the next time that you fill up. Hi, everybody. Good morning. 4:30. Hope you had a good weekend. It is Monday, July 14th. I'm Ryan Elijah.
And I'm Lou Ansereau. So nice to have you along on this Monday morning. We're going to get to all those stories in just a minute, but first let's get a check on our forecast with Liz Horton. Good morning, Liz.
Good morning. We had some showers this weekend dump on us, especially if you are anywhere south of Orlando. You probably know that. At least this morning, though, we're dealing with pretty calm conditions. Not too much cloud cover, and over the interior, temperatures still looking pretty good. We're 73 in Orlando, about 72 in Ocala. Good morning to you. 73 at Daytona as well. Take a look at your winds. For the most part, they're pretty calm, but very important here where we do have a tiny bit of wind. They're all from the east-northeast to north-northeast. That's going to help to control our weather pattern today. What will we see? Well, isolated coastal showers for the morning. The interior should stay dry through about noon, and then 2 into 5 scattered showers and storms will pick up 85 at 5 and will be 79 by 8 o'clock. Most of the showers and storms should certainly clear very shortly after sunset, but notice not much relief in the way of showers and storms. We'll talk about your full forecast in just a bit.
Liz, thank you. Well, the trial has ended. George Zimmerman is now free, but this case is far from over.
Yeah, so much more to go on this, including a federal civil rights investigation that is now getting started. The Justice Department says it will look into whether George Zimmerman violated Trayvon Martin's civil rights. Essentially, if part of this was a hate case, he could also follow civil lawsuits from Trayvon Martin's family, which means more legal battles could still be ahead for George Zimmerman.
And in the meantime, protesters both here and all across the country are taking to the streets.
Yeah, they're rallying against the acquittal that came in over the weekend. Dozens of people gathering last night at Fort Mellon Park, right on the lake in Sanford, to protest the not guilty verdict. Many were members also of the Coalition of Justice for Trayvon. And a much smaller group of about a dozen protesters gathering near the Seminole County Courthouse. They held up signs as cars drove past.
And take a look at this. Much larger crowds outside the state of Florida. A giant crowd gathered in New York's Times Square last night, many holding signs and chanting Trayvon's name. A very large police presence was at this Manhattan rally. And in Los Angeles, protesters blocking the 10 freeway there. Police had to break up this demonstration. There were even reports police shot rubber bullets into the crowd. And this was a very active scene yesterday afternoon in San Francisco. Hundreds of people marching through the streets there. Some carried signs that said, "Justice for Trayvon, no justice, no peace."
Not one more! Justice for Trayvon! Not one more!
And in Chicago, protesters there marched up Michigan Avenue, then made their way to Daley Plaza to protest Saturday night's verdict. Police estimate the crowd at about 400 people.
Well, the president released a statement in response to the Zimmerman verdict, which says in part we should ask ourselves if we're doing all we can to widen the circle of compassion and understanding in our communities. We should ask ourselves if we're doing all we can to stem the tide of gun violence that claims too many lives across the country on a daily basis. We should ask ourselves as individuals and as a society how we can prevent future tragedies like this as citizens. That's a job for all of us. That's the way to honor Trayvon Martin. Well, plenty of celebrities, of course, weighing in on the verdict as well. The hashtag #NoJustice was trending on Twitter yesterday, with everyone from Miley Cyrus to Kim Kardashian weighing in on that topic. Pop star Beyonce also holding a moment of silence Saturday night at her concert in Nashville after the verdict was read. She then sang the chorus of "I Will Always Love You," transitioning into her hit Halo. The NAACP calling for civil rights charges now to be filed against George Zimmerman.
Yeah, the petition getting so much support, their website actually crashed yesterday morning. This morning, hundreds of thousands of people have already signed the petition on moveon.org. The organization, which happens to be hosting its annual convention in Orlando this week, is pledging to fight for the removal of stand your ground laws in every state. They say they won't rest until racial profiling in all its forms is outlawed.
So we have to get those signatures and present those to the Department of Justice to let them know that we also have outside citizens who want to see Trayvon Martin justice brought also.
Reverend Al Sharpton is expected to speak at the convention on Wednesday.
And some breaking news this morning. Ormond Beach police have now issued an Amber Alert for 28-year-old Angela Pastorino and her 2 daughters. Now, the woman's family says she's suffering from depression and told a relative in New Jersey that she planned to kill the 2 girls, ages 7 and 9. Now, the 3 were reported as being in a silver 2001 Saturn 4-door car with a Florida tag, and you can see that tag 230-ITM. Anyone with information is asked to call police right away. Meanwhile, a woman is stabbed to death, and police say her boyfriend is the killer. Titusville police saying Leon Foster, seen here, is stabbed and killed Mykeba Clark outside of her Bay Towers apartments on Washington Avenue. This was yesterday afternoon. Investigators say that Foster drove up from Indian River County to check on Clark, but wasn't happy with what he saw. Police say he then went to the store and bought a knife and an airsoft gun and then went back into Clark's apartment.
And he came back to Bay Towers, where he took a extension ladder off of his work vehicle. He then went and raised that ladder up to her balcony. He climbed into her balcony, shattered her back window to gain entry into the house, where he then kidnapped her.
And investigators arrived to find Foster on top of Clark, stabbing her several times. Clark was airlifted to the hospital in South Brevard, where she later died. Foster was arrested. He is facing homicide, kidnapping, and armed burglary charges.
And in the news now, Orange County deputies are searching for 2 men this morning who broke into a home last night while a woman was inside that house. Investigators say the suspects kicked in the back door of the home on Teakwood Drive just after 11:30. A 57-year-old woman inside woke up and found the men ransacking her living room. Well, when they saw her, one of them pulled out a gun, ordered her to the floor, and then demanded her purse before taking off. Deputies say an elderly man with dementia shot his caretaker over the weekend. Ann Waters told investigators that Kenneth Reed shot her after she told him to wait a few minutes before she was going to take him to the store. Well, Waters was hit in the head and the hand. Thankfully, she was just grazed, and she is expected to recover. Reed is now charged with attempted murder. And Marion County deputies getting a murder tip from police all the way in Oklahoma City. They called investigators in Ocala after a woman told them she stabbed a man there 3 weeks ago. Deputies found Manuel Sonny Aramel dead inside a home on Southwest 172nd Street in Ocala. The woman, 53-year-old Kimberly Collins, remains in custody in Oklahoma City. And an Oviedo home goes up in flames. The Seminole County Fire Department says the fire started just before 10 o'clock yesterday morning in the office of this home on Eugenia Court. It then spread to the garage, setting off oxygen tanks and fireworks inside. All 3 people inside that home were able to get out safely. The fire marshal is now investigating.
Well, it's 4:38, and if you're watching the Royal Baby Watch, it is on high alert at this time.
It sure is. The latest on the next royal heir, straight ahead.
Plus, the popular television star found dead in his hotel room. The new details now as we learn more this morning when Good Day Orlando continues on this Monday. We'll be right back. We got some issues here. I-4 at State Road 46 there, just on the north side of downtown there in Seminole County, looking at 2 lanes blocked there. I-4 westbound lanes this morning. Going to watch out for that.
Yeah, it looks like traffic is already backing up a little bit. So as soon as we get some more people on the roads, it's definitely going to get a little congested unless they clear it up in time. But we'll keep you posted, definitely here on Good Day Orlando.
Liz has got her eye on that. Right now, let's catch up on our top stories this morning, starting with the man who broke the story of the NSA's surveillance, now saying whistleblower Edward Snowden has more information on the agency. Yeah, Guardian reporter Glenn Greenwald tells the Associated Press that Snowden has, quote, very specific blueprints on how the NSA works. The thousands of documents are basically an instruction manual for how the NSA is built. Greenwald says Snowden has insisted those details not be made public. The whistleblower is currently seeking asylum in Russia. And a former South African president is predicting Nelson Mandela could be going home from the hospital very soon. The apartheid leader has been hospitalized for more than a month for a reoccurring lung infection. The most recent official update was that Mandela was in critical but stable condition. An autopsy taking place this morning for the Glee star found dead in his hotel room over the weekend. Corey Monteith had battled addiction for his teenage years as well, though police are not saying if that had anything to do with his death. Monteith was found dead on Saturday. Police say there is no indication right now of foul play. Well, taxpayers paying for unserved meals to prisoners.
Yeah, more on the accusations against a private food vendor. And Kate Middleton expected to give birth any day now. We're going to tell you where her royal hubby spent his weekend. Coming up after this quick break. 4:42 is now your time on this Monday morning.